Hello! Long time no tutorial. Sorry for the delay on this one because I started working full time again, so I've had a lot less time to actually dedicate to making these tutorials and working on the toolkit. But now it's I've got a new one. There's a new release of the Homeworld Remastered Toolkit for Blender. I'm just going to do a tutorial for doing these two new stable features, which are the mesh to turret conversion and the mesh to capital ship engine glow conversion. And I'm just going to go over those as quickly as possible. I actually recorded this tutorial yesterday, but I totally screwed up the audio, so I'm doing it all again. So benefit of that is that there should be a few less hiccups, because there were some hiccups on the last time I did it. So before I get started, I want to give a special thanks and all due credit to Dom2 on the Gearbox forums, who created the sort of text tutorial for making turrets on using what I believe is 3ds Max based on his screenshots, and also to Sastre for helping me figure out some of the stuff with the ship and events and weapon fire scripts that I'm going to go over in a little when I get to that part of doing the turrets. But for now, all you gotta do is you gotta go grab Blender from blender.org. Their Blender 2.75 just came out. I haven't done a lot with it yet. I don't think anything's changed as far as the Python APIs, so the plugin should still work. Then just go over to GitHub, and there will be a link in the description, and grab Homeworld Remastered Toolkit for Blender version 1.1. and then just load it up in Blender in the same manner in which I have said in previous tutorials, and you can get started. So I've actually already made a sort of goofy default space truck ship for this tutorial, because all of my tutorials I tend to start with there's like 2 minutes modeling some crappy ship, and that's a dumb thing to waste my time on. I'm actually going to do a slight adjustment on this because I want this to be not quite so. What just happened? Oh, let's go. Yeah, no, fuck it. Screw it. Never mind. Alright. So here is the ship. And it's all. So all I gotta do is I'm gonna do the convert to ship real quick. I'm just gonna call this test ship, and you convert to ship, bang, and that does what it usually does, which it creates the joint test ship, renames the mesh and the mesh data, all there. And then, so the first thing I'm gonna do is go into, I'm gonna clear that because I'm gonna get back to that in a second. I'm going to go into making the engines, the capital ship engines, which is pretty easy. So you start by, you gotta make a mesh for your engine. So I'm gonna just move the 3D cursor right there and add in a UV sphere, and then I'm going to go into wireframe mode and right view, edit, and just delete all the parts of the sphere that are overlapping the mesh. Alright, and then scale that out on X to about there, and scale it on Y a bit. And the engine glows for the capital ships are made from a bunch of sort of nested glows. So this is going to be my sort of the base level glow. Triangulate that and smooth shade it. And then I'm going to do a more detailed glow. I'm just going to duplicate this one, scale it up a bit, and then I'm going to jump into, just make that there, and then I'm going to jump into sculpt mode and just make it look a bit more like an engine. I'm going to do that by enabling dynamic topology and going with the grab brush. I'm not going to go into like any sort of detailed, this is how you sculpt in Blender stuff, because there are lots of tutorials for that, and that's like, you can fall down that rabbit hole and have a lot of fun with it if you really want to. But so I'm just going to grab that out. That looks kind of crazy. And then, oof. But yeah, I don't know what the maximum poly count for the engine glows is. I mean, if you look at the example capital ships off of the Steam Marketplace, their poly counts for their glows they're really huge. I mean, there's like, I think the what am I thinking? The Kadeshi fuel pod glow is like in like a couple 100,000 on its poly count, which seems insane to me. But I guess the engine can handle it. Smooth that out a bit. That doesn't look good. I feel like I did a slightly better job of this in the last version, but whatever. Actually, crease that down. Maybe that's why. This is. And I feel like, no, that's gross. Symmetrize that, and then I'm just going to do, there is a thing here, if you, relative, is it relative? No. Constant detail? There it is, and then just a detail flood fill. I think that's about good enough for the secondary glow. Just grab that back and pull that all into the, so it overlaps the hull of the ship. Yeah, I think that's good enough. I'll just go back to object mode, smooth shade that, and then you just have to do is you just grab your two engine glow meshes, and then in the joint tools, go down to engines and click on large, convert selection, and that right away that creates your engine nozzle joint there, and you get an axis engine nozzle. I'm not entirely sure what the engine axis does, and then you got glow engine 1 and glow engine 2. And those, it also creates this material for the engine glow. And the reason that it's got this .001 is because I did this earlier and I'm using the same blend file, so you can actually just, I can just grab that initial glow, and that's fine. But when you do it, if you do it one time and don't mess it up, then it'll just be there, and but that material determines the actual like glowing of actually using the volumetric glow material in Homeworld itself. And that's, that's engine glow creation, pretty much. That's all there is to it. So now, turrets. Turrets are fun. Turrets are kind of easy, provided you don't mess it up. So, and the process is actually very similar to the engine creation. So I'm going to create a turret right on this nose section, and I'm going to start. So you just do it by adding a mesh. Pull that up a bit. Scale it down on Z. Nope. From a 3D cursor. Squish that down. And scale that out to about there. Maybe scale it back up on Z a little bit. So you just create a new mesh, and then you go in weapons. You grab your ship joint, which in my case is going to be joint test ship. So you grab that from the drop down here. And then you name your weapon, and very important to actually name your weapon what the name is going to be in the ship file. So it's going to be gun, and then you click mesh to weapon. Oh, damn it. I did that again. Undo. Actually, make sure you actually have your mesh selected when you hit it. And then click mesh to weapon, and then that creates as a child of your main, you get your joint gun 0, and then you have your 3, well, you have actually 4 empties get created for your weapon joints, and you're going to, by default, they all have an offset of like 1 or 0.5, so you're going to want to move them around a little bit. Direction from this scale direction can stay where it is, but I'm going to move. Rest is going to move out to about there. Latitude is going to stay where it is, and muzzle is going to move out just past rest. And that is the basic turret. So I'm actually going to throw this in the game just to show you how it looks, and then I'm going to... Oh, did I miss that up again? I did. Damn it. Alright, I will, when I have time, I'm actually going to pull this name out because it doesn't do shit. So, yeah, I'm going to undo that gun creation. So we use this name field. I'm going to take this one out because it is not being referenced. And then you do your mesh to weapon. So there we go. And now it's gun 0. And now I'm going to move those back out to where they should be. Rest and muzzle. Go out there. Oh, and I'm going to triangulate that cube. And that. Good thing. So now I'm going to just do the export real quick. So rotate by X, -90. Apply rotation at scale. Export better plot of DAE. Test.DAE. Export DAE. Codor. My params.hodor. That, and I'm going to replace the Kushan Light Corvette because that one has a turret in it by default, and is a good example, good easy example for a replace. So do that, and we just jump into game. CPU, start game. I'm going to move myself around a little bit, so there's probably some noises there. Right. Corvette.
Construction underway. Roger. Build that container block.
Destroy enemy motherships. Light Corvette complete.
Ready.
There's our Corvette. There's our engine glow. See that there? So, yeah, when it does what it just did there, so we're gonna move it, and you can see that when it goes, I'm not sure why it does this, like what parameter it makes it do it, but the way it sort of squishes out to its center, I'm not sure what the deal with that is with that, but
we have friendly in sight.
the actual shape of the glow works okay. So I'm gonna just have it force attack the carrier, and you can see the turret rotate, and it fires.
Resource collector awaiting instructions.
And that is basic turrets. But I'm gonna go. Basic turrets are fun enough, but what you really want is advanced turrets. Or, well, this is not quite. We're not quite at advanced turrets yet. That's turrets 101, which is convert a cube to a turret, and you're good. And now the next step of turrets is you probably want a barrel on your turret, and that's pretty easy to do as well. So what you do is you select your muzzle joint for your gun. Oops. Shift S, cursor to selected, and add another mesh. I'm going to go with a cube. And recenter my camera so it's proper. And now the thing about it is what you want is, you can see how there's that orange dot right in the center there? That is the origin of your object. So that origin you want to be where your muzzle for your turret is. Muzzle for your barrel is. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to edit mode, triangulate it right off the top. I'm going to move that down, because when you're in edit mode and you move stuff around, the origin stays the same. So I'm just going to move the geometry so it's just below where the muzzle empty is. And then I'm going to scale this down so it looks a little bit more turrety. And then I'm just going to grab these 4 points and drag that all the way back down into the turret mesh, main turret mesh. And then what you do is you want to rename that. You want to make sure that you rename both the object, which is molt, because you need to have that molt before any mesh that shows up in game, barrel, and then also do that for the object data. And then all you got to do, select that, select your muzzle joint, Control P, object. And then we just re-export. Rehodor. No errors. Recopy. Corvette.hud. And then jump straight back in the game. Build our light Corvette again.
Construction underway. Copy. Build that container block.
Destroy enemy motherships.
Boom.
Light Corvette complete.
Ready.
And you can see it, and you see it's got this barrel right there. And now if I force attack
We
the
have friendlies in sight.
carrier again. Then he'll... What the hell?
Acknowledged. Attack withdrawn.
That was weird.
Allied ships targeted.
There we go.
Resource collector under attack.
Yeah.
Resource collector awaiting orders.
Let's
We have
re-attack the
friendlies
carrier
in
again.
sight.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what happened before. But yeah, you can see the turret tracking, you can see the barrel tracking, and the flare, and the projectile coming out of the barrel. And that is basic turrets.
Roger. Attack
So,
withdrawn.
a turret with one barrel is cool, but what is cooler is a turret with more than one barrel. And that is a multi-step process. Getting that going is a slightly more complicated process because you do have to deal with the events file and the weapons and the ship file. So I'm just going to do like a real quick crash course on that stuff right now. So first off, we've got our gun, or yeah, the barrel, and our turret. So what you want to do is if you control click the icon in the outliner, that selects the object and all of its children and all of its children's children. So you want to select everything, get everything except for, so you control click that your gun 0 position and then shift click to unselect your base turret and then just duplicate that and leave it in place. And then that gives, see, you've got gun 0 position, all this stuff. So then what you want to do is you want to select your gun 0 latitude, muzzle, and barrel. Yeah, because you want position, direction, and rest, you want to stay centered. But you want your latitude, your muzzle, and your barrel. And you just drag that off to the side a little bit. And then for your duplicates, this isn't gun 0 and it's not gun 1, it's gun 0 slave position. My voice is going a little froggy, sorry, I haven't had any fluids yet today. And it's gun 0 slave direction. If I spelled slave right. Gun 0 slave latitude. Gun 0 slave muzzle. Then you want gun barrel. Instead of gun barrel 1.001, it's gun barrel 2. And gun 0 rest is gun 0 slave rest. .001. And then you want to grab your latitude and your muzzle and your barrel and move those off to the side as well. And that's probably not perfectly symmetrical, but it'll be okay. So that's, all well and good that you've got, that's like your basic setup for your turrets. But if I were to export this and just throw it in game right now, the slave barrel wouldn't do anything. It would just kind of sit there and be a jerk and not work. And that's because in the ship file for the light corvette, the weapon that it's using, the Kushan light corvette gun, doesn't actually let you have slaved barrels. So you have to change that to a weapon type that does let you have slaved barrels. And you can do that by either creating a new weapon from scratch, and there actually is, what's his name? Zerkoto on the Gearbox forums has just made this new tool for making weapons files from scratch, and I haven't learned it yet, but it looks really cool. It's like has graphical representations of all the arcs and stuff for all the weapons. So you can do that, make a weapon from scratch, or you can be lazy, like I am, and just change it to a weapon that allows slaving. That does allow multiple barrels, sorry. And one of those weapons is the Titan Destroyer Gun. And you can just straight up do that. And then, but it's not, sorry. That's not like the end of it. I mean, if I were to put this in the game, then both barrels would fire, but the slave barrel wouldn't have a firing flare, and it wouldn't make a sound. And the issue with that is that the events file has to be changed to deal, and you can do it by changing the events file, by adding in the animation for, you can do a weapon 2 animation, and all you have to do is copy and paste this, and it'll make the flare and it'll make the sound, but it won't necessarily actually be synced with the firing, especially with a Corvette, because Corvettes move around, so it's possible that in the time between gun 1 being able to fire, or barrel 1 being able to fire, and the secondary barrel being able to fire, that the ship will have moved and the secondary barrel won't actually be able to fire, but you'll still have the little flare and sound animation, and it'll be desynced and it'll look really dumb. So the other thing that you can do to fix that is you actually have to, go into the weapon fire script, and the Titan Destroyer Gun uses the kinetic large weapon fire script. And you add that, and all you have to do is you have to add in fire effects, and that's your visual effect, and you basically just copy that straight out of the your events file, your weapons, which is your muzzle flash combo small frigate, and then the fire SFX, which is again, you can copy straight out of the events file and add that in. By default, the fire effects and fire SFX won't be in the weapon fire script, so you just have to add those. And this whole block here, formats, means nothing. I don't even know why it's there, because it is not the format that the file uses, but it's there by default. And so I've already done that. But once you do that, then you just have to actually remove that weapon thing and the weapon from the events file. Save it. Export you. Tries it again. Copy. Paste. Odd. Get that done. And jump straight back into game. And the other thing that the Titan gun does is that the barrels actually have recoil animations.
Roger. All right, let's get up in here.
Because that's defined in
Destroy
the
enemy
weapon
mothership.
file. So you'll be able to see the two barrels recoiling when they fire, which is
Light corvette complete.
Standing by.
there you go. You've got two barrels.
Gas friendly inside.
With track. Boom. Boom. And that's it. Kind of funny that you can see that barrel like clipping through the back of the thing sometimes. Not there. Actually, I made it too long. Okay, but yeah, that's stuff like how far the barrel moves when it fires. That's all defined in the weapon file as well. As well as like the tracking arcs and everything else. But yeah, and so that's advanced turrets, and you can do that barrel thing. I could put like 20 barrels on this turret, and it would be the most ridiculous thing in the universe. But that's that, really. So I'm between, my initial, between all these 4 tutorials, I think that's everything that you really need to be able to make a Homeworld 1 style capital ship with no subsystems, really, and that's, I'm between like the basic ship creation and nav lights and dock paths and now turrets and capital ship engines. You can make fighters, you can make corvettes, you can make frigates and destroyers. So that's that. I mean, as I say every time, a few things. One, I'm going to probably do another release of the tool with this name field taken out, because this name field does nothing. And then I'm going to, but as I test the hard point stuff, like there's an engine hard point that you can make, but as I test that, because like setting up hard points, you also have to do stuff in the ship file to enable them, I believe. But yeah, so as I do that, and then as I've also said, I'm going to do sort of an integration so that you can run Hodor directly inside Blender instead of having to exit out the command line. I'll figure that out, and there will be options and stuff for that. But you can do most stuff at this point just following these tutorials and with the tool as it is right now. So happy blending and happy Homeworld modding. I really hope that this is useful, and I hope that this leads to a lot of cool content being made for Homeworld Remastered, because Homeworld has always been a very community-driven game, even back in the original release, and it would be a shame if Homeworld Remastered didn't have the same longevity due to communities from its community. But I think that's going to be it for me, so thank you for watching, and thank you for liking and sharing if you want. And that'll be it for now. Have a nice day.